Good evening, everybody. It's 9:30 p.m. on the East Coast, 6:30 p.m. on the West Coast. It's time for your weekly Calamity Jane live stream. James, how are you doing on this lovely spring morn or evening? I don't even know where I am anymore.
Yeah, you're just teleporting all over the world.
I
So
am. I'm a jet setter, globe trotter, the whole nine.
I'm doing great. I ran into another. We were off by a minute jumping on tonight because I was trying to figure out my computer. Circuit breaker went off and I couldn't power my computer on. I couldn't, didn't know the culprit, but that was the reason why. But
Mm-hmm,
anyway,
mm-hmm.
so technical glitch averted. But I'm doing
Good, good. I was worried for a second there because I'm not interesting enough to carry a stream by myself. That's for sure.
in your mind. That's why it works for both of us to double bore the stream. You
Yeah,
know.
like, look, we have to have art to go along with my nonsensical, semi-incoherent rants.
Which art are you talking about? Are you talking about behind you or on your shirt?
Oh, my Animal Crossing T-shirt. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, I
Deserted
couldn't.
Island Getaways. This is my.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere today, so I don't care how I look. T-shirts. So
Nice.
basically, my normal clothing.
Good. Good. Well, I guess I'll jump into what we're doing. What we're going to talk about today in the stream. It's going to be pretty much a continuation from last week, and then we'll just kind of talk about whatever is
Okay.
on mind, I guess, and keep going.
Okay. Well, I
So,
mean, I think the most pressing news in the globe right now. I don't think there's anything else going on the face of the planet right now. The most important thing is the first wave of the new Mario Kart 8 Deluxe courses came out last Friday, which,
yeah, yeah,
obviously set the world on fire, and we're dealing with the repercussions of that landmark launch. Um, I, for one, know that I spent more hours than I should have on 8 courses,
uh-huh.
but I enjoyed them.
Yeah,
Um,
it's funny. Like, these days I glean most of my gaming news off of gaming Reddit and then also off of YouTube, just what people are talking about there.
mhm.
And the problem is it becomes an echo chamber because it seems like everybody just kind of, maybe I'm maybe being a little unforgiving, but the general opinion is like they parrot the same thing, which is the theme of these tracks aren't high fidelity enough to be part of the Mario Kart core maps that you get with the original game. Therefore, they're not as good, but they look they look and they look awesome to me from what I've seen on videos and stuff. And I know you've tried them out.
I
But
will acknowledge that the visual fidelity of the tracks is slightly lower. Um, and I will add to that by saying, who cares? I just don't understand why this is a thing that bothers people so much.
yeah,
And in full disclosure, I like graphics. I think graphics are important. They're a good way to hook players. They're a good way to have visual interest. And I will always prefer a game look better than look bad, all other things remaining equal. That being said, the courses look great, and you're not really standing around doing nothing on them anyway. This isn't like The Witcher. It's not like Mass Effect, right? You're not really supposed to be. It's not intended to be standing there taking in the majesty of these vistas that environment artists have created over the course of 10 years and whatever. They're racetracks, and the visuals are perfectly adequate for what a racetrack needs. So, plus it's $24 for an entire game's worth of courses. So I guess I don't have a problem if one of the ways to keep the price down a little bit was to not have as much high fidelity textures on the grass area. Okay, that's a worthwhile cut to keep the price down to $25.
so wait,
Um,
how many tracks do you get in Mario Kart?
so
Uh,
it's a full game's worth of tracks. So it's a um, uh, um, 10 new Grand Prix, and each Grand Prix has 4 tracks each.
okay.
Or maybe
Wow.
it's 12 actually. I think it's 12 new Grand Prix, and each Grand Prix has 4 tracks because I'm pretty sure there's 48 new tracks
Wow.
that are coming out over the course of this year and next.
Okay, so wait, so do you buy the season pass for just like do they break them into seasons or you buy the season pass and then you can
You
eventually get
get,
all
yeah, it's $25 for all 48 courses.
and then and they just roll them out over.
And if you have the ridiculous Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, which gives you access to a bunch of N64 games and Sega Genesis games that, if you're old like you and I are, you've already played 1,000 times, so who cares? You also, some of the major DLC that's come out recently, you get for free as long as you have an active subscription. The only 2 games that supported at this point are Animal Crossing and Mario Kart. But if you, for whatever reason, have that expansion pass, then the DLC you don't have to pay anything extra for.
Okay.
That being said, I do not have the expansions pack, and so I just paid the upfront cost, $25 for 48 new courses. And they're releasing them right now, 2 Grand Prix at a time. So the first 2 came out last Friday, and there are 8 courses. The biggest surprise for me was how incredibly good the Mario Kart Tour courses are. There's one that's set in Paris, one that's set in Tokyo, and then one that's set in a ninja hideout.
Mario Kart 4 is the mobile game.
That's
right?
the mobile one, yeah. And of the 8 courses that came with the first wave, without a doubt, the ninja hideout course is far and away the best of the 8 courses.
Yeah, again, I've been reading that online. A lot of people seem to like Ninja Hideout. This first batch. So that's cool. And you were telling me that the Ninja Hideout one, they designed it in such a way that you actually race against your other drivers that you've lapped in a way.
That's the Paris one.
Oh, that's the Paris one. Okay.
Yeah, the Ninja Hideout one is just really cool because it's got in some areas of the track, 3 or 4 different routes you can take stacked up on top of each other. So you can take the ground route, you can take a tunnel underneath the hideout, you can drive through the attics and rafters of the hideout. Yeah. It's very clever the way they sort of evoke the nature of being a ninja just by the different ways you can traverse through the environment. It's a good looking course that really utilizes the nature of Mario Kart courses really, really effectively. No, the course that actually has you driving against your opponents is the Paris course, where on the last lap suddenly it changes your course through the route, and it actually has you drive in the opposite direction of the other racers who aren't as far along in the course as you are. It's pretty cool, actually.
That's cool. Yeah, you know what's funny is I have Mario Kart 8 on the Switch. I don't know because I think at this point I play so many Mario Karts that it's sort of just like I just play it now with family, and I enjoy it with family and the younger members of the family who have now mastered a lot of the courses on Mario Kart 8, and I'm not that good at it. I think the last one I actually was any good at was probably Mario Kart 1, and maybe Double Dash. I was okay with it. Not great, but I was okay. But yeah, I have no bragging rights with Mario Kart 8 at all.
I'm pretty good at Mario Kart, I would say. I have embarrassed more than a couple of people who are like, yeah, Mario Kart's my game, I'm really good at it, and then they play me and they're like, oh shit. It's funny because people who play sometimes don't understand that the way you are good at Mario Kart is by mastering drifting.
Yeah.
And they'll drive through the course without drifting.
Sure.
And they can win the game, right? It's designed so that you can be successful at the lower speeds without needing to drift. But at the higher speeds, you have to know how to drift. And this is a feature that, drifting has been in since the original Mario Kart. But you didn't get a speed boost out of it until starting on Mario Kart Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance. And in that one, it was a little bit different. No. I'm sorry. I got the order of the releases wrong. Mario Kart 64 came out before Mario Kart Super Circuit. Mario Kart 64 on the N64, they introduced the concept of power drifting, where you would get a blue and ultimately an orange and a red charge. And then whenever you let go of that drift, you'd get a boost of speed, right?
They remember that. Which one was that one on?
Mario Kart 64?
Yeah, I'm
on
sure.
the Nintendo 64.
Yeah. I know I played that one. Yeah, I remember the orange and blue, but they haven't brought the orange and blue, right?
It's back. Oh yeah, that's still in it. That's been in the Mario Kart games ever since. The only The only one that deviated was Mario Kart Super Circuit, where they changed the drifting so that you would drift around the corner, and if you came out of the drift at exactly the same angle that the course was pointing, then you'd get a speed boost. So you didn't
Okay.
like build up a drift, you just had to perfectly align your drift with the end of the turn to get a boost.
Yeah,
And it
and
was much harder to get speed boosts through drifting that way.
yeah. So again, it shows you my really amateurish slash noobish play with Mario Kart. I didn't even realize there was orange drifting in any iteration of Mario Kart forever.
Yeah,
Because
there's
like
there's always been three levels.
it's funny,
Blue.
I drift. I see the blue, I see the spark. I go, okay, cool, I got drift, and I get out of it.
Oh no, yeah, you can starting in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you can drift all the way up to purple.
What?
Yeah, so it's blue, yellow, orange, purple, starting in Mario Kart 8.
Wow, that's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
No clue. Had no clue. Learn something new.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, it takes all kinds, man.
But here's the question though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, who's your character you use in Mario Kart? Who's your go-to?
I don't have a favorite character. Because in Mario Kart 8, the characters are not nearly as important as the karts themselves, although the character sizes do affect your speed, acceleration based on their weight. I generally speaking go with a middle weight character. I tend to do like one of the Inklings from Splatoon or Tanuki Mario from Mario Brothers 3, of course, and Super Mario 3D Land. And but I'll also go up a little bit heavier, and I'll use Link, who also is it slows the acceleration down a little bit because he's heavier than them, but your top speed tends to be a little bit higher. But the hit isn't as bad as if, say, you use like King Boo or Dry Bones Bowser or just regular Bowser for that matter.
Hmm.
This is getting super nerdy, by the way.
No, this is why we do the stream, just to get into the nuance of Mario Kart 8. Where
I feel like that's what it is. Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, I always so for me, I tend to use Donkey Kong whenever I can in any Mario style group kind of game. But I feel like Donkey Kong kind of sucks in Mario Kart. I mean, in Mario Kart 8.
Mm.
Like I can't get drifting down with him as easily. It's fun to bully people out of the way when you're sharing the track a little bit. That's about the extent of it. His it takes forever for him to accelerate. Yeah, I don't know. But maybe you know more about him than I do. But yeah, I'm assuming he's equivalent to Bowser,
Mm-hmm.
as far as racer is concerned. But maybe I don't have the right cart unlocked for him to use him correctly. I'm not sure.
I mean, it's a bit of a balance, and one of the things it's a rare UI flub in my opinion. No one knows it too. No one like most casual players I know don't know about it, and I have to show them. But once you get to the cart selection screen, you can press the plus button,
Hmm.
and it'll bring up what your racing stats are: speed, traction, acceleration, etc.,
Yeah,
etc.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm surprised by the number of people who don't know that that's there, right? And
Mhm.
so, really, what I do, honestly, when I pick the racer that I want to play as, I just compensate for their weight.
Mhm.
Heavier characters are always going to have slower acceleration. Lighter characters are always going to have higher, heavy characters are always going to have a higher speed. Light characters are always going to have a higher acceleration. That's just the reality. But depending on which cart you use, your wheels and your glider, you can tweak those stats to a certain degree. But then on top of that, there's three different type of vehicles that all drift in different ways, right? So you've got cars, four-wheelers, and bikes, and the drifting mechanics for all of them are slightly different.
Mhm.
So like the carts are really good at like really they're really maneuverable on the drifting. You can drift out, you can drift in, and really help position yourself mid drift on a turn.
Right.
Bikes, on the other hand, only drift in, right? So you have to start your drift pretty far out, and then you drift in, and you can hold position, but you can't really drift back out again. So with bikes, you gotta really think about your turns as you drift through turns. But the trade off is that their boost when they come out of a turn is faster, right?
Yeah.
So and then off the top of my head, I can't remember how the mechanics for the four wheelers are impacted by it, but they are as well. So
So what cart do you use most? A bike or a
I,
classic cart?
I use a cart. And it's kind of silly, but like they did this bizarre DLC back in the original version of Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U,
Mhm.
where they did a cross promotional thing with Mercedes Benz. And they
Oh,
had a Mercedes Benz sedan, an SUV, and then a classic race car, Mercedes Benz race car. And I actually use the semi regularly the Mercedes Benz sedan. It's a really good all around racer.
huh.
But there's a couple of race cars, like sports cars carts that I'll generic sports cars carts that I like. So I use those as well.
Huh. Yeah. So you like this Mercedes thing? Can you not get it? You can't get it in. You have to like you get it by unlock. Sorry, I kind of missed the last part.
Well, in Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, it was free DLC.
Okay.
It just got on the Wii U shop, and it was a free DLC purchase. It didn't cost any money. It comes with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You don't have to. There's no extra
Yeah.
downloads, but like all of the carts, wheels, and gliders, you have to unlock them as you cross specific coin collection thresholds.
Oh, okay. All right. So you purchase it in game through collection.
There's no
Collect.
real purchase. It's just like you've collected 1,000 coins, you unlock a random part, right?
Oh, okay. All right.
And the parts you unlock are pretty random. I don't remember if there's an. I don't remember if it goes cart, wheel, glider, or if it just randomly picks something. But depending on which version or which person's save file you're playing on, they might have a different set of carts, wheels, and gliders unlocked.
Mhm.
I have almost everything unlocked. I don't have like the golden tires or the golden glider because you have to like to get. I can't remember which, but when you 3-star every track in the game at every CC level, so 50, 100, 150, 150 mirror, and 200, then I think you unlock the golden glider or something. And then if you beat the time trial ghost for every course in the game, you unlock like the golden wheels. So those are the only two things I don't have unlocked.
And is it really that? Is it difficult to do those?
The time trial ghosts are surprisingly challenging. Yeah, the for me at least, I've 3-starred 50, 100, 150 cc and 150 cc mirror. I've only done 2 of the 12 circuits at 200 cc at this point. So 200 cc is challenging. You have to really use some highly advanced drift maneuvers that are really only useful at 200 cc. But yeah, it's 200 cc is pretty challenging. It's pretty challenging.
Hmm.
I mean,
Okay.
it's not so bad to just win, but to 3-star it is challenging.
Insane. Okay. So that's pretty much a solo player type of thing, right? To get
That's
the
all solo player stuff. Yeah.
uh,
Although you collect coins in multiplayer, so you can unlock stuff in multiplayer.
mhm.
So you as long as you're collecting coins, you're working towards unlocking content.
Yeah, but the coolest content sounds to me like it is that single player stuff. Then,
Well,
uh,
all of the stuff that you unlock can be used in any mode.
yeah, yeah, the golden tires.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, all yeah. Oh yeah, that stuff is all has to be done. Yeah, that stuff. Yeah. That has to be done in single player. Yeah, that's correct. Like the unlocks related to that stuff. Yeah, is all single player. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to figure for myself. Like, yeah, I could go online and play Mario Kart online, or wait for a family and play it then, or I could play single player and try to get those golden tires.
Yeah, yeah. Which is a commitment of time at the very least.
Yeah, and then I'm also then it's an uphill battle because you don't have that much. At least for me, I don't have that much stuff unlocked to where I'm kind of I would feel. It sounds like what you're telling me is I'd be at a slight disadvantage trying to race against the ghost if I don't have all the general tier stuff unlocked just by playing it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And since it's random, you may get one of the better cars very, very quickly or not for like 10 hours. you know?
Yeah. So yeah, but with all that said, the chances of me playing single player Mario Kart at any time is probably pretty much nil these days. There's only so much time in the day to play a game, and for
Sure.
me, we talked about last week. I'm still playing Elden Ring, so in that game's gonna take a while. At
Hmm.
this point, I'm pretty engrossed in it. I was trying to avoid playing a Neo style type of game or a Souls type of game where it required 80 plus hours worth of game time. But yeah, Elden Ring came out and kind of I kind of decided to log into it. But yeah, now because of that, I'm not sampling a bunch of different types of games anymore, unless of course family's over and we're doing stuff for family game night.
Right,
So
right, right. I get it. I understand. Hey, look, I mean, don't deny yourself something that you're enjoying just because you made some arbitrary rule. Like, I'm not going to do a Souls like. All right, well, I mean, if you're going to set that, that's fine. But I say if you're enjoying it and you're in the mood for another one, go for it, man.
but I guess the rule wasn't really arbitrary for me. It was more or less I just want to see what other games are out there that are digestible in bite-sized form, meaning 20 hours or less, and you can see a lot more content that way. And you play hopefully potentially more interesting mechanics that way. Like I'm gonna be playing the same mechanic for Elden Ring, which is just like the other Souls mechanic for the most part, except for they added a jump button to it now, which does change the game a lot, but the very basic core of the game is very similar to Dark Souls 3, 2, or 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see anything that different except for just different combinations to take on a boss or something. But then, like I could be missing out on some other type of game altogether that's like a whodunit type of game, or something like or maybe like another normal hero style game, that I'm not sitting, that I'm not going to be able to play for a while. And that's just me because I want to avoid getting into a long involved games, so I could just kind of keep sampling different games, like Hollow Knight, for example, or Bloodstained. After Neo 2, I jumped around and played a whole bunch of games. I think even on a stream, I've talked about a few of them where I can just play them for a little bit and move on to the next one. Yeah, so that's the thing is I may be trapped in a Neo 2 spiral. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I totally get it. Yeah, I mean, why deny yourself the enjoyment of playing it? But um, artistic side of you wants to look at other content and see how other artists are doing other types of things or designers are doing other stuff to things because it's fun to kind of see their take on stuff. Yeah, I mean like after Neo 2, I even played like a game like Journey, for example. I finally played that game. Fun game. I didn't get the same emotional response that I think a lot of people did, maybe initially when it first came out. I'm not sure if you played it or not.
Journey? Yeah, I played it. I liked it. I don't know. I guess I'm not as. I mean, I enjoyed it, and I thought it was very interesting, and I thought that the anonymous multiplayer was fun. Was a
Mhm.
really fun, interesting way to implement the multiplayer, and the fact that it was passive, it didn't require you to do anything, was really appealing. I thought the visuals were a lot of fun. I played it once and went, okay, cool. I didn't really feel like I missed anything. I didn't really feel like I didn't really feel like that there was an experience that I really wanted to go back and see again.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now there was a game that I played a couple years ago now called Abzu,
Uh-huh. Yes.
which is a similar sort of thing. You play this sort of anonymous character and you just sort of traverse your way and solve
Yeah.
light puzzles to an ending. But that one was far more compelling to me. It was underwater.
Mhm.
And it was just far more visually interesting than the desert environment of Journey.
Mhm. Yeah, I really like Abzu a lot too. But you know what's funny? Even after actually I played Abzu first before I played Journey. Are they by the same designer or no?
I
But
believe it's by the same team. Yeah, they're not with that game company anymore. I think that they splintered off into um, well, Annapurna is the publisher. I don't remember if Annapurna developed it as well. It's escaping me off the top of my head. I know, but yeah, no, I believe it was the same group of people, just under a different. They built their own studio outside of that game company.
okay. Yeah, I liked Abzu a lot. I think it was visually fun to look at. I love the style of it. Yeah, and it's the same. It's the same as Journey. Uh, But yeah, like you, I don't know how many times you played Abzu. I only played it once though. Same with Journey. I only played it once.
I played through Abzu twice actually. It
Yeah.
was visually interesting enough to go through it twice just to see some of the set piece moments. I mean, there are a couple of moments where you're in this corridor and then you come out into this big open space and then all of a sudden you're surrounded by gray whales and you're swimming along these gray whales and it's really a fantastic vista. It's a really I don't usually become visually impressed by video game graphics. I
Mhm.
mean, I like them, but they don't
Yeah.
grab me the same way a movie can grab me.
Uh-huh.
But these moments were like, oh wow, that really grabbed me. It was just I don't know how to explain it. It actually just actually impacted me visually, which is what games don't actually usually do that for me.
Uh-huh. Huh. Um, so during your second playthrough, did you find much fundamentally different with your second playthrough, or just find things that did you just find moments you kind of missed as you played it through the first round? You know, like
I just wanted to go through it again and see the graphics again. Quite
oh,
frankly, I didn't really
okay.
notice anything particularly different. There wasn't anything that I had missed because I was pretty thorough on the first way through.
Uh-huh.
Um, but no, it was just to see that vista of the gray whales again or the blue whales. I don't remember. Or the when you get swept up in that underwater current moment and you're swimming, you're getting pulled through this current in this underwater cave, and that was really cool. And yeah, no, there's just a couple of moments that I just wanted to play through again because I enjoyed them so much the first time through.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, overall though, great game. And again, it's like what, maybe a 15-hour game, 20-hour game at the
I
most. I
mean,
don't even
if
know
you
if it,
really push it, like my second playthrough, I got through in like 2 hours.
oh
So
man, okay.
yeah, I mean, if you're not looking around and trying to find the hidden collectibles and stuff, and you're just moving from area to area, it goes by pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah, but that's what I'm worried about. But that's the FOMO moment for me because I'm playing Elden Ring. I love
Mm-hmm.
it. And what if there's another Abzu out there that I'm too involved with Elden Ring to see anything else that exists in the world. You know what? You know, not to knock gamers that want that play because I'm I'm one of them. Like I played Dota for years. I missed out on a whole bunch of games. Or if I was a League of Legends player, I did the same thing. Because you only have so much time again during the day to play a game. So
Sure, sure.
pick your poison. But yeah, yeah. I mean, seeing playing Abzu or playing Journey to me makes it worth it to play smaller, tidbit kind of games because you see the rush start, just get to you see the art style and you kind of absorb it and enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's my only thing, but so far all I can do is just keep an eye on new stuff, and if there's another game out there that's worth sampling, and then maybe I will put Elden Ring down. I mean, that's just it's on me ultimately
Sure, sure.
to get a handle on that myself, I guess. So yeah.
Well, I wouldn't worry about FOMO. Most of those games aren't going anywhere at this point anyway, so I mean, unless you're Nintendo and you're slowly turning off the servers for your older game systems, but not really doing anything to preserve the availability of those products for the newer platforms.
And it's
Um,
sad. It's so sad. I
it
mean,
is. I mean, it's not like
yeah,
they're throwing away. They're just putting that kind of content back in their archives, which presumably at some point, if there's a demand for it, they'll re-release. But at least right now, there's a lot of eShop and DSiWare and Wii U shop games that are going to be unavailable in the near future.
mhm, yeah. Um, and yeah, that's sad. I mean, unfortunately, that advocates for piracy. Obviously, for not that we condone anything like that, but people
Yep.
are going to be want to do it because yeah, there's no other way of getting it. And they
Mm-hmm.
really want. What are they going to do? It's kind of weird. Like, I don't understand. I wonder how. I mean, Nintendo's making they're printing money at this point. It feels like.
Always.
Um, and like, how do they? I mean, why not keep the lights on for that stuff? Let people just download stuff to infinity until they can't, until they have financial reason not to.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
things were terrible for them. Well, right, what before pre was it pre Wii or I guess during the Wii U is when their stock quote unquote tanked or was lower.
Sure, sure. The Wii U is definitely a misstep, but I mean, they were hitting it so far out of the park with the DS and the 3DS and the Wii.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, the Wii U was a blip, right? I mean, they have enough money that they can do experiments like the Wii U, and frankly, the Wii U itself didn't have an immediate ROI, but what it did do is it set the groundwork for the Switch because a lot of the ideas that they were experimenting with the Wii U wound up in some capacity in the Switch in some form or another, and we know we know how the Switch is doing. So, um, uh, yeah, so it wasn't ultimately a loss, and Nintendo is very famous of taking a long view kind of approach to some of the stuff that they do. Heck, even elements of what was done for the Virtual Boy, if you can remember that failed attempt at 3D gaming, inspired what ultimately would be used in the 3DS. And while the 3DS gimmick was sort of abandoned at the end of the life cycle of that platform, they were doing some really interesting stuff with it in the early days, and a lot of it came from sort of the ideas that were pioneered by, I think, Gunpei Yokoi, who also created the Game Boy, of all things.
yeah.
So I think that's who it was. And I'm mutilating the pronunciation of his name, I'm sure.
Oh, I'll do. I'll share with you on that plenty of times in our future streams. I'll be butchering names as well, but
Yeah. But in any case, we're at 30 minutes here, so why don't we take a look at what you've been working on, and get a sum up from you about it.
all right. So the past couple weeks or so, we've been dealing with OCD bug, and now okay, well, let's just look at this kind of in totality. So there he is. He's adjusting the sign. That's kind of pretty much done. Zooms by.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
okay, so we got a lot of the. There's a little bit. I'm gonna fix this arc here, but the animation of him getting thrown off his rock a little bit. It's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
And then,
see. It's the him falling is a little bit too linear.
yeah,
It doesn't have a build up. It doesn't have an acceleration yet.
yeah,
So you have to work on that. But
yeah.
yeah, no, that's a minor thing. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, so it's coming together. Um, so yeah, we have the key ingredients for a few scenes now that are kind of ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And again, yeah, like mentioned before, maybe fix some arcs a little bit here and there, but yeah, so we're in good shape for
Cool.
OCD appearance. I'd like to. I'm debating what I'm going to do next week, whether I'm going to actually try to do the signage and actually fill out the background here and stuff like that. I'm not sure yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll mull it over for next week's stream, but
All
because
right.
we start doing the sign itself, and I need to probably composite that and put that in here. So that could be something we might do for next week. I'm not sure yet, but anyway. But as far as character stuff, yeah,
Yeah, all noble efforts. Yeah, this is coming along really well. Cool.
cool.
Progress. I love progress.
That's where we're at.
All right. Well, we will let everyone go then. As always, if you just type in calamityjane.rocks, it'll take you right to our Patreon site. Please consider subscribing to our Patreon and helping us make this cartoon a reality. You most likely found this on Facebook, YouTube, or whatever social media platform you use. So I don't really feel like I need to tell you where to find us if you did find us. And otherwise, stay safe out there, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, everybody.
Good night. All right.